Welcome back to another episode of the Tip for Tap podcast. I believe this is episode 19. I'm here with Jordan again, making a return for like the third, fourth time. And then I got Max, Max, consistent Max. Me and Max always consistent. Jaden is coming in like 30 to 45 minutes. He has something to handle, and then he's going to join us for the NBA topics. Today we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. The first two rounds of the NCAA tournaments. I know a lot of the brackets were busted, a lot of upsets, a lot of crazy basketball. It's March, man, so it's one of the best times in the year for basketball. It's always good to see. But before we start that, how your day been, Max? I haven't heard from you a lot since you came to France.
Pretty good. Good weekend. St. Patrick's Day weekend was good. A lot of basketball, fun to watch. Obviously, these last 4 days are like Christmas for any basketball fan. It's so much fun to watch all those games. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, but also a lot of just watching basketball for 12 straight hours. So tired.
And Jordan, how are you? I know you I've been seeing on your Twitter feed obviously some good opportunities coming your way covering Duke and just in general. So, how you been?
I'm all right. I got less than 60 days till I graduate. So trying to really
good, man.
To be honest, I'm trying to fight senioritis. That's real.
Bro, I got freshmanitis. I barely go to class. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be busy, bro. My grades are good, but I don't be going to class though. It's just like I don't know. College is super easy to me.
Your classes aren't dictated on your attendance?
No.
Well, that's not a grade.
No. Freshman year. I'm sorry. Yeah, some of these classes are.
I only have one
to the work, and that's it.
I only have one class dictated on attendance. Otherwise, I just do it in my room. But like we said, so Jordan covers Duke. So we're gonna start off with that. Some takeaways and reactions to the opening two rounds of the tournament. I mean, it was crazy. I think probably all of us. I mean, I had Purdue losing early in round of 32. I think they was gonna lose. I had them losing to FAU or something like that. But I'm not gonna lie, losing to who did they lose to?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, FDU. That's insane. Like they're frauds. That's my biggest reaction to the.
I was gonna say when Jordan was on here last time, I think we were talking about our March Madness stuff, and I think we were on agreement. Like we didn't see Purdue going very far, but I don't think any of us saw them getting upset. Whatever round one to like literally, FDU was like the worst. Do you guys see that? They're like 363rd out of 363 D1 basketball teams in like height or like an effective height, and they were able to take down obviously 7-3 Zach Edey. So I think like a lot of us didn't think they were going to be championship contenders, but for them to go out round one was crazy.
I don't know that they took Zach Edey out the game. I just think they triple teamed them. They doubled them a lot, tripled them a lot, and the shooters and the guards on Purdue weren't able to make shots at all. And that was my main concern coming into the tournament. I feel like their guard play wasn't good enough. They have some experienced guards and they have some younger guards on the team. I think one of their best guards is actually a freshman. So they haven't he didn't have that experience going into the tournament. So can't really blame him. I think it's a coaching thing, and I just think they rely way too heavily on Zach Edey. And like I said, in the center play is not going to win you. It's not going to win you a championship. I never thought that was going to happen. So I mean, it's obviously a 16 seed versus a 1 seed. So you still got to be shocked. But I don't know if I was that shocked as like Arizona losing to Princeton. Like that was crazy.
Yeah,
Arizona
losing to Princeton. I agree.
Completely messed my bracket up. After that, I was like, yeah, bro, like it's over with. My bracket is messed up. We saw a lot of upsets.
I think a lot more people had Arizona going far than Purdue going far. Like I think Arizona people. I don't think anyone really thought twice about it. But if you were to pick one seed to get upset, I think Purdue was the easy choice. I don't think Arizona was the worst 2 seed to get upset. Like Arizona, like I agree. Like
I'm not surprised by Arizona either. They have a track record of actually like getting upset by
what?
They have a track record.
Yeah, I get you. They have a track record. So does Purdue. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't think Arizona was getting it bounced by Princeton.
Arizona in the Final Four.
I had Arizona in the Sweet 16, I think.
I had them losing in Sweet 16 too, but I didn't expect them to lose to Princeton, and I didn't expect Purdue. I had Purdue losing, I think, in the second round to.
It would have been FAU.
Who did FAU beat?
I had Memphis. I had them.
Yeah, right. I had Memphis beating.
Oh, yeah.
So. I thought that, we, like you said, we talked about before, I thought that they were a bit fraudulent anyway. So I definitely, because I've seen a lot of people, I have a friend up at school, and he was saying Purdue, was going all the way. To be honest, and
I had two friends like that as well at school. They had Purdue winning the whole thing, and that's what really shocked me. I'm like, where y'all getting this information? Like, where y'all? What evidence? They said the evidence was. I think it's really good to have a person that could just elbow anybody and not get called for it. Like, bro, that's not gonna win you a tournament, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, he's 7'4", he's dominant, probably player of the year. Him and Tracy Jackson Davis or Drew Timme or somebody like that. But when it comes down to it in the tournament, if he's not that great of a passer and your players are not making that many shots, then he could be really limited. The team could be really limited. I think Ethan just joined. What up, Ethan? You in the gym or something?
My bad. I genuinely just got back to where I was supposed to be at. That's my bad.
Oh, so anybody that doesn't know, this is Ethan, one of my friends from Bradley. He has his own podcast. It's called Creating Madness. Covers college basketball. They're steadily growing on Twitter and on Spotify. So the link will be in the bio. You guys can go check that out. But right now, Ethan, we're talking about our general reactions or key takeaways from the first two rounds of the tournament. I think we were talking about Purdue's lack of, guard play led to them losing. What your take on that?
So just starting off for Purdue, you go into March Madness, the key thing that has been a thing over past 50, 60, 70, 100 years, you need seniority. You need players that have been there before. Purdue starting point guard Braden Smith, the freshmen do not get done in March. We have seen that. The last freshman-led team that actually got done was 2015 Duke. And realistically, that's a rarity. You're not seeing that every year, every other year. You're seeing that once a decade at best.
Yeah, so we were talking about that earlier as well. Yeah, they have some experience on their team, have some seniors as well, but their starting point guard at guard position was really young, and they weren't able to hit shots at all. Like they didn't make the many threes at all. Edie's not that good of a passer as well. Do you think he was going to dominate coming into the tournament?
I'll be honest, I had them getting out in the next round to Memphis because Memphis has the all-time leading scorer in the American Conference with Kendrick Davis. However, they fell to FAU. But even if FAU played them and they beat Farley Dickinson, FAU would have beat them. There's too much talent on both of those. And I guess even Farley Dickinson because they ended up beating Purdue. Purdue can't win against a majority-led guard team that actually have the chemistry. We saw that all year.
I think one of the other bigger upsets, well, I actually predicted this one. I think a lot of people predicted this one. It wasn't that hard to see. Furman beating Virginia. No, I had that one as well. Virginia led most of the game, and then it came down to I think his name Kahai Clark making like the dumbest play one of the dumbest plays. Clark making one of the dumbest plays I ever seen in college basketball. Like all you had to do there is hold the ball until you get fouled, and I think especially for him being he's a senior, he's very experienced.
Fifth year
senior.
He's a super senior.
Yeah, he's been there for a long time. He's a very poised, very pass friendly guard. Like he has a lot of. I think he's very mentally smart as well. So him making that mistake in a crucial moment, I didn't expect that from him. But it's Virginia. I mean, I didn't think they were gonna. They have a history of
Virginia's what you said about Arizona. Virginia's almost worse. Yeah, the Virginia's pretty bad. I do feel bad for Furman though, because I feel like in most years, like that's the upset of the tournament, right? Like that game was so much fun to watch. Obviously, like the ending, like the game winning shot at the end. But like obviously this year you have FDU and Princeton making their run. So it is kind of like it's great to see all the lower seeds winning, winning more games and stuff. But it is kind of sad because I feel like Furman's definitely getting overshadowed. Granted, they lost the next round, and Princeton's still moving on. FDU's winning is a much more monumental game. But I do feel bad because that Furman game was phenomenal. Beating Virginia with however they played, whatever, they still won the game. Like that was a great game. But I do definitely think it's getting overshadowed by the other upsets. All
right, so moving on to the round of 32. I want to start with Max. What did you see out of your Spartans to get upset against Marquette? I actually had them. I had them in the season.
Yeah. So we talked about this again. Start of the tournament. We said that before the brackets came out. Purdue Marquette, we didn't really love. I think me and you agreed on that. Watching that game, first of all, the referees were very scary. 1, 2, our shooting was very scary. So the fact that we were able to win that game only making 2 3-pointers when most of the games this year we've live or die by the 3. If we win, we shoot well. If we lose, we shoot poorly. Only making 2 threes. Obviously, the second of the 2 being crunch time. Joey Hauser corner 3. It was huge shot. It was good. It was good to see. We played defense when we needed. Tyson Walker had a very quiet 23 points until the end. Hit very clutch shots. Like obviously Marquette. Who's their scorer? Jones. What's his first name again?
Either one know that. I don't know. I don't really follow
one.
Marquette.
Who's like the number one guy?
Kolek?
I don't know. No, it wasn't him. It was it was.
They have a dude that averages like
Kai.
he averages like 11 and 7. They have
it's not Tyler Kolek. It's
okay. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. It was someone else who was. I don't know. He had 3 or 4.
Oh, the forward, the Jones dude. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
1 or 11. I can't think of his first name.
Cam Jones.
Cam Jones. Yeah, I keep thinking Kai Jones, but no, he got drafted. Yeah, Cam Jones. He was shooting the ball very well. He was hitting threes on us a couple times down the stretch. But yeah, it was a good game. Obviously, back and forth. It was a little scary at times. I think both sides wish they could maybe have that game back to play a little better here or there. But I think K-State, Michigan State will be a great game. I think K-State, Kentucky was a great game. Michigan State, Marquette is a great game. But I think that Elite Eight matchup will be very good, especially because I think Tennessee will blow out FAU. Do you guys all agree? I think Tennessee will win.
Yeah.
I don't know about a blowout. I think FIU be competitive.
I don't know. The way Tennessee handled Duke, I thought Duke was I
handled them. I mean, I want to say handled.
They had 21 points in the first half, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, the game was they lost by 13. I mean, yeah, you can say handle. You can say handle.
They were in the driver's seat for the majority of the game because I had money on Duke to go far. They were in the driver's seat the majority of the game.
They were in the driver's seat for a majority of the second half. Yeah, I wouldn't say majority of the game. It was close.
The first half was going back and forth, but at the end of the day, Duke only scored 21 points in the first half. Like that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, Roach was in foul trouble. Flip was getting fouled the whole entire first half. They weren't calling a lot. They were letting them play. So I mean, it is what it is. Mark, when they lost, they starting 3-man at the start of the game. Their best overall defender, in my opinion, they lost. So I feel like obviously if Mark Mitchell plays, then that's a whole different game. But Tennessee's best player towards ACL, so you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. So, but I mean, like I said, I think a lot of it just went into Duke not having another shot creator other than Jeremy Roach, and Jeremy Roach was in foul trouble. Tyrese Proctor was having a really good game towards the end of the game, but they had Dariq Whitehead off in the corner. He already basically had turned into just a catch and shoot guy in the offense, and they were trying to force it down to Flip, but Flip was just having an off night. And
I just want to say y'all really misusing this entire season. And now his draft stock is down because of y'all. I just want to let y'all know that. I mean, obviously because obviously. No.
Dariq got hurt twice.
I understand it, but like
making him who's draft stock down? Flip? Wait, no, Dariq's
draft stock is
not down. I don't think.
That's it, bro. He was supposed to be a top 10 pick before the season. He's not going top 10 anymore.
He was projected lottery, yeah. I mean, and then he got hurt.
I understand that, but so with Dariq this year. Obviously, the concern was actually his jump shot, and he showed that he could be a knockdown shooter in the NBA. But his biggest strength was attacking the basket, being a defender, which he still shows promise. But y'all just misused him. I just feel like
he got hurt twice. He missed the entire training camp. Then he missed the whole first 2-3 weeks.
Do you think he should still come out? Do you think he should still come out to go to the draft?
Do I think he should?
Yes. And do you agree that your main priority is getting Tyrese Proctor back for next year?
Yeah, Tyrese Proctor, Mark Mitchell, and
Tyrese Proctor actually has some NBA potential.
Who, Proctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not gonna go as high as if he stays another year, bulks up, and because really he's not. In my personal opinion, he's great at everything but shooting the ball. And at the guard position in the NBA, you're gonna have to be able to shoot the basketball. He shot he shot damn near I think exactly damn near 30% from 3 this year, if not lower than that. And a lot of that was on catch and shoot jumpers. His catch and shoot jumpers is worse than him pulling up. So it's I think in general, he just has to become a better shooter, a stronger playmaker when you got Roach there. But I mean, to be fair, the reason I think he should stay again, he needs to bulk up. He was him and like I said, Mark Mitchell with a 2-point of attack defenders for Duke this year. But you bulk up Tyrese, he works on his jumper. I feel like he can be an All-American type player next year, in my opinion. ACC, ACC for sure, ACC first team type player next year. like I said, All-American next year as well. If he
What y'all
can,
doing with Jeremy Roach though? Like, is
Yeah, I
he
was gonna
coming
say,
back or what are you doing? Like, he can walk
I
or he
think
can
his
go.
time is
That's
up.
I told you that.
In
I told you that
my
before.
personal opinion, it wouldn't make sense for Roach to come back with Jaron McCann and Caleb Foster already
Oh
coming
yeah,
in.
y'all guard
is
next year.
is
It's gonna be
Lively
nice.
is Lively is Lively going to the draft for sure?
Probably,
That
I would
confirmed?
assume so.
Yeah, he
I
probably gonna be a
assume-
second round pick.
No, he's gonna
Or
be a
I was
first
gonna
round pick.
I was gonna say I feel like his stock hasn't really gone up anywhere either. I feel like he was supposed to go mid mid round,
Yeah,
mid to
he's
late
probably
first,
still
and I
gonna go
don't know if
mid
he
round. He showed a lot of prowess as a a defensive prospect.
defensive president. Yeah,
And again, I think his last 15 games, he's averaging like 4 blocks a game and 8 rebounds. So it's like
yeah, that's big.
you work on some things with him. He has to bulk up too. So yeah, I think he's still gonna be but as far as the Syracuse game, Duke just didn't have enough offense, and they had gone so far without being able to shoot. They had caught fire somewhat from being able to shoot down, from outside, but the one game where their quote unquote best player at the time, Filipowski, got cold, they just didn't really know how to respond, and their best guard with in between game, which is Jeremy Roach, he just couldn't. Well, one, he tweaked his ankle in the second half, and then two, he had 3-4 fouls throughout the majority of the crunch time of the game. So it is what it is. But
I mean, y'all definitely need a defense. Y'all definitely need a defense. I don't know his I don't know how to pronounce his last name. First name is Oliver. I wasn't too much high on him. I think his name is it's like a Nika something. He had 27 points on 10 for 13 from the field and 3 for 4 from 3. He was like, so I don't know what
and a lot of that.
I don't know what's going on.
A lot of that is because Mark Mitchell did not play. Again, I think he's the best all-around defender. He's probably our best wing point of attack, other than him and Proctor again are the best 2 point of attack defenders on the team. But as far as Mitchell, he can bang down low at the 4. He can guard some twos. He even against Oral Roberts, him and Tyrese was guarding Max Aisman most of the game, but Mitchell was also when Tyrese sat, Mitchell was on him. So it's like he can guard, smaller guards as well. But if it was his job to just run that matchup straight up, then I'm sure Shire would have just run a lot more man than because when they started going zone is when dude really started cooking. So yeah.
So Steve, Jordan. So Oliver, I think it's pronounced Nikamhua. I'm bad at pronouncing names. I'm sorry.
Career high against Duke.
So career high. He has not shot that well or played that well all year. Tennessee fans were happy but livid that he couldn't do that in conference play. So, in all honesty, that was just Tennessee's.
Yeah, that's why. Literally, Tennessee was making shots that they haven't hit all year. Like their biggest, the main thing with Tennessee coming into this game that I was looking at was, okay, Duke has been one of the, in my opinion, was one of the top, I would say, 15 defenses in the country coming into the game. Obviously, the best defense in the ACC this whole year. And I was thinking, what we all think, you have Tyrese Proctor, Mark Mitchell, and even if you want to let them, not blow past, but you can lead them to Derek Lively down low. And they did a good job of, trying to it was a lot of pick and roll sets to get Lively out of the paint. And that's when they started going 2-3 and manipulating and getting in between the 2-3. That's when they started creating shots. But like you said, dude had I don't want to mess up his last name, so I'm just gonna keep saying dude. Dude just went off for 30, shot 10 for 13. He hasn't done that all year, like y'all said. The offense, again, my main thing coming into the game was Duke has suffocating defense, and they lost one of their best defenders, and they had to run a lot of zone because Derek, and then you have Jacob Granderson and Ryan Young coming in off the bench. It was just a lot of defensive mismatches where they couldn't run man and get up and down the floor consistently, and run the suffocating defense and trap in to the ability that they usually do. And yeah, ironically, Tennessee just decided to have their best offensive game of the season. Then I forget again. I don't know his name because I don't watch much Tennessee basketball. But number 25 was playing like Manu Ginobili.
Santiago Vescovi? Is that Vescovi?
Yeah, bro. It was all bad.
It's crazy.
It was crazy. I had never seen a team come out and just, I'm not gonna say never, but it's March, obviously, but
yeah.
they caught fire quick, and it was over pretty much halfway through the second.
I was gonna say I was high on Tennessee I think like a year ago, 2 years ago, and I remember it was like with Kenny Chandler and stuff, and Santiago Vescovi when he caught fire, like he's a scorer. He was a good player. So
Max, you're a Michigan State fan, right?
yeah,
So I want to let you know. I want to congratulate you on the win versus Marquette.
thank you.
Shaka's Vermont the round prior was his first March Madness win in over a decade.
Yeah, he was what? He's like it was his first. It was his first March Madness win. Like he's like 1-8 in his last 9 or something.
Are you talking about Tom Izzo?
No,
He's not
Shaka
I'm
Smart.
about to say
Shaka Smart.
Like
Oh, okay.
he regular season, he just can't win in postseason play.
Yeah, like he. I was looking at it.
But
What's up? Sorry, you cut out there.
sorry, I love the guy. He dominates the regular season, but if you can't win in March, it's the same thing with Brad Underwood with Illinois. It's the same thing with a lot of these coaches at high Power 6 programs. If you can't win in March, you're worthless to the fan base at a certain point. Although this second year there, first year there, I forget which, or first year
Shaka,
there.
Shaka obviously, when Shaka goes with VCU, he goes to the Final Four. Like that's where he got his credibility from. His whole Texas stint didn't really go well. Made the tournament 3 times. I think bounced first round every time. I think Marquette will obviously keep him around. They won the Big East. I think that Marquette really has no other options to go with. But I do agree. I think if they don't start winning in March, or if they can't put some wins together, it's not going to be the greatest for them.
So we talked about Duke in Tennessee for a long time there, and obviously Michigan State. So I don't want to go into every single matchup in a round of 32, but I also saw I wanted Baylor to go far. Out for obvious reason, a Keontae George fan, and he didn't play too well. Baylor didn't play too well. They're really driven by the guard play, but their defense, unlike most years, has been terrible this year. And so they lost to I believe Creighton, let up 85 points, and was terrible from 3. Did not turn Creighton over as well. But besides that, most of the people, Alabama, Houston, Texas, everybody's thought they were going far. So let's just preview the Sweet 16. It's gonna be let me see, look at this.
Well, let's not be crazy. One of us was very wrong here about their championship picks. Just get it out the way.
Who are you talking about?
One of our championship picks lost in round of 32. I believe you had Kansas going all the way.
I did. I mean, what can I say?
I had Arkansas.
What can I say? Arkansas is really nice.
I had Arkansas, so I didn't want to brush past that so fast, like you were trying.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
do,
Kansas.
Who had Arkansas over Kansas?
Oh, so 2 of us.
Are you picked that? You picked that?
Yes, I picked Arkansas over Kansas.
Okay. Anyways,
yeah.
So I think Princeton is going home. Princeton, let's get some love to Princeton. Princeton, Ivy League school, got to the Sweet 16. They play really good basketball, fundamental basketball. What I would call winning basketball, moving the ball around, defending, and so that's taking them really far. They killed
Mizzou. By the way, they beat it by 15. Like I was not expecting that at all.
After you beat Arizona, I feel like Mizzou is not even upset at that point. I mean, I guess they're a 7 seed, but it's like Princeton is a really good basketball team.
Yeah.
So Alabama dominated their first 2 games.
I think Bama will kill SDSU. I think Bama's going to the Final Four.
I got Bama winning it all personally.
Yeah, Bama.
I got Texas.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. They went to a lot of adversity this year. They have the best record, I believe, against top 25 ranked teams in the nation. So Texas is really good against good teams as well. So I feel like that's a good pick.
Texas was one of the 5 teams that could technically win it if we're going off the KenPom prior to the tournament. I think it was Texas, Purdue, Houston, and Alabama and UConn. Yeah. So Purdue's already gone. Houston is as good as gone eventually. Alabama, I think this stuff's going to get to them eventually. Although
I also don't have Alabama winning it. I don't have Alabama winning it either.
I don't have Alabama winning it, although the situation there is getting more and more interesting every day, with there being potentially more innocence. But we can talk about that at a later date when everything's actually concluded.
My final four for my best of my 2-3 brackets is still in play. I got Bama, K-State, Texas, and UConn. So my Final Four is still at play. I got Bama and Texas in the final. So, I mean, I do think Bama –
that'd be an interesting matchup for sure.
I don't think Houston's as good as gone because Sasser's back, and I do think that Houston's a good team when they're fully healthy. I
Sasser's
think
also
Texas,
injured.
but he scored 22. He scored 22, 27.
Did he look fully healthy though?
He played what, 36 minutes?
That doesn't make him fully healthy.
I was just saying he was playing majority of the game against a pretty good Auburn team. They were losing earlier on again, so it was a tight game. Like I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand they do have a good supporting cast. I think that Texas will be a hard out. They have obviously Texas guard position. They have a lot of depth, but yeah, I think that Texas Houston game will be very, very good if they do end up both meeting in that
for sure
Midwest championship. But I think
don't get me wrong.
I get it. I think as far as who I'd pick to win, though, I do agree with Jordan. I think Bama has the easiest path to make the Final Four in the championship. They don't like when you're looking at the teams they have to go up against. Like, if I'm Bama, I'm not worried about like you don't have to play Texas, you don't have to play Houston, you don't have to play Gonzaga, you don't have to play UCLA. Like, you don't play UConn. Like, if you beat San Diego State, you could play a 6 or a 15. Then at the worst, you play K-State, who's looked very good. K-State's played very well. But you get K-State, Michigan State, Tennessee, who are all great teams. Don't get me wrong. But I'll be the first to tell you, I don't think those three teams are as good as Houston, Texas, UCLA, or even Gonzaga, or UConn. UConn played very well this year. Like Bama, like looking at the bracket, Bama has the easiest path by far to make the final. So as far as if I had to put money on anyone, I would just say them because they I mean competition wise, they get an easier path.
I want to ask you,
but there's something.
Go ahead.
There's something that you got to keep in mind. It is March. Doesn't matter how easy 100%,
the path is. 100%. But I do think they also have what you're talking about with experience. I get it. Brandon Miller's, you could say, is their lead player.
But he's not the lead guard.
Yeah, I'm saying, but Javon Quinterly, like they do have vets. Right. They do have some experience. Like I think they could get it done come March.
Oh, I agree. So. They definitely could. They're my second pick.
So I wanted to ask everybody. I want to get some input from everybody. Just a player you've been impressed with so far, or your MVP of the tournament so far up until this point. I'll probably go first. I want to say Marquise Noel.
Dang!
You took mine.
You stole mine.
Out of New York,
so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, Marquise. I have two actually. Because I've been following these players since since high school. Both my players are from New York City. I've been following Marquise Noel when he was at I believe Little Rock. I've been following him on his entire journey. I've been watching him since high school. I mean, because I used to play basketball, so I used to watch a lot of small guards, and I think he's just an amazing passer, amazing in pick and roll. He's really grown his game. I think this is his junior or senior year. I mean, he had 27 and 11 against Kentucky, and Kentucky's my favorite. That's my college team, and I told Max I think Kentucky was winning the game at some point. I told Max in the group chat, Kansas State is pulling this out. I literally didn't have Kentucky winning. They didn't have enough talent for me. But Marquise Noel, that's my player I've been most impressed with. Like and I feel like Coach Cal, what he said was disrespectful. I saw Marquise Noel.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah. He said he called him that little
guy.
Man dropped 30 and 12 on you. You calling him the little guy is crazy.
Insane.
I love Coach Cal. He develops great NBA players. I want to have a discussion about that either later today or in the future about what college has the best players. I think that's interesting. I saw it on Twitter today. He develops great players, but he hasn't had the postseason success in recent years. And I think his mind just focused on getting these kids in the NBA. And I'm on that mindset too, because I feel like college doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. I'm not a team player, but anyways, Javon Quinterly, he's my player to watch coming into the tournament, averaging 17 points on 50% shooting and 50% from three in the tournament. He had 22 against who did they play? Maryland. He had 22 against Maryland. He's coming off an ACL tear last year, and every year I feel like he just battles back from an injury or playing in the bag. And when he's on, like Alabama is very scary, and I think he'll be very integral in their title chances. I also want to say about Javon Quinterly. I think he can either go undrafted or in the second round and have some actual NBA impact, like as a backup point guard. No, I know he's old. We were talking about this in the group chat. He's old. I did not even know he was old. He is about to be 25 years old, and he as a rookie. Like that's actually crazy. But I think he still has some, NBA backup potential. Like, I can see that. He's great in pick and roll. He's great around the basket. One of the best finishers in all of college basketball. A great shooter. A great leader. He's battle tested. He's seen a lot. He played a lot of basketball. So I love Javon Courtney. I've been watching him since high school.
He was in high school when you were in middle school.
Yeah, that's correct. He started
probably elementary school.
Yeah, he started college when I was a freshman in high school, and I'm a freshman in college now.
Exactly.
So that's how long he's been in the league. But he's been battling injury. He got that COVID as well. Who are y'all? I mean, obviously besides Marquise Noel, who are y'all players?
I'll step in. I'll step in next.
You about to
I don't know, first
me.
round. Huh? I
You
don't.
about to steal me.
I don't know. You got an ACC guy?
No.
Okay. First round was kind of quiet as far as stuff. But my biggest thing, I thought Indiana was going to run the table with Miami, and Isaiah Wong really stepped up, and killed Indiana. What did he dropped like 27 or 30 on him? Like,
yeah, 27.
He really just took over just scoring at will. Second pick, who I think a lot of people, I don't think people had St. Mary's losing to UConn, but a lot of people had this little Rick Pitino, Iona. They thought they beat UConn. Adama Sanogo, right? Just shut everybody up. He's got 28 in his first round, 24 in the second round, just dominating everybody out there. I get it. He had a little more hype coming into the tournament. Everyone knew he was a good player. He has handled it very well. Going up against Arkansas, who I feel like Arkansas plays more through their guard, so I'd like to see what they do with Sanogo as a big, just trying to see if they can change tempo. But Isaiah Wong, I'm very excited to see him match up against Marcus Sasser. I've liked Houston a lot this year, but I think with how Wong scored on Indiana, who I think is a pretty good defensive team. I think Isaiah Wong, he's definitely wowed me with that last performance, and I think that he could be a big issue for Houston.
Oh, well, for me,
He froze.
He cut out.
Yeah. Just give him a
He
second.
cut out. All right.
It'll probably come back.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you back? You back? You good?
y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
So the most impressive performance I saw this weekend, this past week, was Ryan Emhart against Baylor. We had 30 points, and he was matched up against lottery pick and really a top 5 pick. Well, not top 5, but top 10 pick in this year's draft, and Keontae Jordan. Keontae Jordan shot. Well, I think he only had 5 points and shot 1 for 11 from the field. And
hurt my heart, man.
And Ryan Emhart came to play. Ryan Emhart had a very efficient. I think he had 30 on 13 shots, hit 4 threes. It was just, and they upset and beat Baylor in a game that I just didn't think that they had the offensive firepower to win the game. Creighton did, but he showed up. But LJ Cryer for Baylor was right there with him. So, but that was the game that I was well, like I said, Ryan Emhart, that was the most impressive performance I saw this weekend. And then right before the game before that, Creighton in general has just been impressive. They're gonna lose to who do they play? No, they don't. Did they
Princeton.
play?
They play Princeton, and then they'll play probably Arizona at CSU.
Right. So yeah, I don't think because aren't they in the South bracket?
Yeah. What's with Bama? Who is Bama?
So
South,
right?
Right?
They're not beating Bama, but Nemhard had a great game that game, and in the game
an Elite 8 run would be huge.
Say it again.
An Elite 8 run for Creighton would be huge.
Yeah, it would be. It's still possible, but and then Ryan Kalkbrenner, the game before that, he was too. He had 30 and 10 the game before that too. So I've been really impressed with Creighton so far. But yeah.
I also like Creighton so far. Also, fun fact: Keontae George not declared for the NBA draft yet. He is not decided if he'll come back to Baylor or not. So that could be an interesting.
He's leaving. Don't worry
we
about
say
it.
that now, but he didn't say he was leaving. He said he's still thinking, which it's
I don't know. I
interesting.
think they'll probably hurt him. I mean, maybe a year would help him, but he's just so inefficient. He takes the toughest possible shots. I've never seen a man take an easy shot ever, bro. I watching him all year. He's my favorite shooting guard in this entire class, and he just doesn't take him and Nick Smith is in the same boat. Those are my top 2 guys, and as far as shooting guards, and they don't take. What?
I saw Nick Smith in person. I didn't think I saw him make a shot.
Yeah, they take the toughest shots possible. Like they like to shoot mid ranges, a lot of floaters. I think Keontae George is in a better place right now because he's stronger and he'll be able to fight through contact in the NBA more. But Nick Smith, just talking about him, he can't get to the basket efficiently without a floater or a mid range. He can't take contact once he gets bumped. He doesn't react well. He's not a good playmaker. He's not a good defender. And so I'm still very high on him through all that I just said. I'm still very high on his potential in the NBA. But Keontae George, I hated it, bro. Watching him struggle, and I hated watching Baylor struggle on defense. But go ahead, Ethan.
So I'm gonna go with Drew Timme, 21 points against Grand Canyon, then following up with a 28-point performance against TCU, which was huge in their 3-point win. Drew Timme, albeit won't translate to the NBA if we're being 100% honest here. I hope he does because he's been a blast to watch in college. For as much as I'll hate on Gonzaga, I'm creating madness, but I think this could be Gonzaga's year because this is the first year that no one's hyping them up, saying that they are the national championship, they are the Final Four. I hate to say it. You don't see it, which is exactly why I think they could.
Yeah, I was gonna say I get the case. They have so much.
How many years have we seen?
They have hyped so like every year they go undefeated.
This is the first year that they don't have the spotlight on them.
Yeah, no, I get it.
This was the worst Gonzaga team in nearly a decade, and they're in the Sweet 16 for the 8th year in a row. How many times can we say that this is one of the worst teams that we've seen from a school, and they're still in the Sweet 16? Duke's not in the Sweet 16. Kentucky's not in the Sweet 16. North Carolina didn't make the tournament. And Gonzaga's right there again. And you can say it's because of their conference all you want. You put them in the ACC, Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10, Big East, whatever. They're still a tournament team. They're still a tournament team.
A tournament team,
tournament team, but they're not.
And they'd still make the Sweet 16.
That's arguable, though. That's arguable. It's big. You got bigs in the ACC. You got bigs in the ACC that can deal with Drew Timme. They had the
it's tough to win.
Okay, and they'd still make the tournament.
Conferences.
They'd still make the tournament, though. They'd still go on this run that they had. You can't deny it. Mark Few's had success. As much as I hate the guy, as much as I hate Gonzaga for not playing in a bigger conference and stepping up like they should with the Pac-12.
They play in the mid-major, bro. They literally play in the mid-major. They
literally play in the mid-major, and they made the Final Four. They've made 8 Sweet 16s in a row. How many programs have made 8 Sweet 16s in a row in the past 2 decades?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like they get an automatic bid every year. Like it is tough. Like I think as far as like when you play teams like twice a year, like the ACC does, when you play ACC, Big 10, Pac-12, like they play each other all the time. Guys stay multiple years. Like I get it, but like if you're really talking about like going into play Portland on like a Thursday night versus going into play like Miami or like NC State, like it's really different. You know what I mean? Like just like
I agree. No, I'm all the way with you there. I think that they need to switch to a Power 6 conference. Don't get me wrong, but you cannot deny their tournament success as much as I want to.
Understand? Yeah, they've been good in tournament, but they can never. Yeah, they made the national championship twice.
They can't win it. Don't get me wrong.
They lost to Baylor and lost to UNC, right?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love hating on them for that. That's one of my favorite pastimes to do.
Okay, so what leads you? You say this is probably the worst Gonzaga team in a long time. What leads you to believe that this team is worse, but they're going to be the team that win the championship? Well, obviously not your pick.
Because they're the worst Gonzaga team in a long time doesn't mean that they're still not great. You don't make the Sweet 16 by accident. You have the game plan, you have the coach, you have the players to do it. Princeton, I get it. They're a 15 seed. They played in the Ivy League. This was the best year of the Ivy League in over a decade. Princeton has the guys and the schemes to win against Arizona, Missouri. They have this thing with Ivy Leagues. As much as it's a joke to say, haha, yes, they're smart. They can make the game plan to win. That's exactly what the coaches do. The coaches have these players that aren't on athletic scholarships, that go there for the education, for the opportunity to play D1 basketball. We have Caden Pierce, who was on the best team in Illinois basketball last year, starting as a freshman in the Ivies, which is something that's very rare to do. They just know how to get it done in March, as we've seen throughout the entire history of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I won't argue that. I don't know about Gonzaga winning this year. I think they'll have to see Alabama, who I think they lost to in the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. They don't. Drew Timmy is an amazing player. He might return. He has another year eligibility. Ironically, might be returning because he's not going to be good in the NBA. He's a college legend though.
Yeah,
But
I don't think Gonzaga's like automatically not going to win. I think they do have a chance. Like I do give like what you're saying. Like a lot of times they don't give into the pressure, but like this year the pressure kind of off them. It's on Alabama. It's on Texas. It's on Houston. But I do think they have probably the toughest.
I will say though, Max, they're definitely going to be. They're going to be UCLA though for sure.
I'm just saying, but that's cool.
They got to be an injured UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because
like,
but
Jalen Clark not there. Saying, so. Like you have a tough. They still have to go beat UCLA. Then you have to go beat UConn or Arkansas, who are not going to be 2 easy games. You have to go beat the winner of Texas and Houston. Then you have to go probably play against Alabama. Like that's a tough road to the final. So I get it. Like what you're saying, like experience can get you through. Julian Strother shot pretty well in the game. Drew Timmy played well. Like you had pieces like they were just hitting threes. And they were like down. It was coming out of the second half. They just started shooting the ball like so well coming out of the second half.
Gonzaga also has my favorite mid-major player ever in Malachi Smith, who was at Chattanooga for the past couple of years and nearly beat Illinois last year. And now he's their sixth man.
They have pieces that can get it done, but I do think that when you look at the path ahead of them, that could be ahead of them, I think you can't help it. Like it's tough. It's going to be a very
for sure.
It's going to be an uphill battle. So I don't know.
If it were easy to win in March.
I understand, but I'm just like I don't know if I trust a team who's never gotten it done to get it done with a very tough path. You know what I mean? If they're another, if they're
to be fair, of all the teams left, which coaches have got it done?
Yeah, I know the coaching wise, just Izzo. I understand that. I get
Izzo.
it.
And that was over 20
years ago, Max. By the way, I just want to point it out.
Last Big 10 team to win it, man. Last Big 10 team to win it.
It's been 20 years.
That's not very impressive. It's been over 2 decades from a Big 10 fan to another. It's not very impressive.
I'll take it. Izzo got what? Izzo got 16 Sweet 16s. Yeah. We've got
and he has one championship from 2 decades ago. That doesn't.
We gotta a bit though. Izzo gets the best out of his teams. First of all,
I agree.
They don't have that much talent ever. 1, 2. He's just a great coach. I ain't gonna lie. Izzo is a top 5 coach ever in college basketball.
You say that they don't have that much talent. I'm sorry. The year that March Madness got canceled, they were my team to win it. Cassius Winston was a baller.
He's saying as far as talent, like recruiting classes. Like
that's what I mean.
He gets what he can get out of
rankings. You can't trust rankings.
I get it. Like as far as college, because sometimes guys don't even go to college, like, don't even end up playing in college. But as far as like ranking stuff, guys don't normally want to come to MSU because Izzo's not a big fan of one and done. So as far as 5 stars,
they would rather just go to Michigan, by the way.
Michigan for basketball?
Yes, they would rather go just go to Michigan. Yes, bro. They get better.
They'd rather go to Michigan to play. They'd rather go to Michigan for basketball and not make the NCAA tournament.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
They get better recruits than y'all. They definitely get better recruits than y'all. Just saying. I just want to point that out. They do though.
Their best recruit in the last class was the coach's son.
And he's about to go to the NBA.
About to be a lottery pick.
Exactly. Jay Howard
be a lottery pick who played in the NIT and lost after blowing an 8-point lead in 1 minute in the NIT.
That's pretty bad.
In the grand scheme,
pretty bad.
In the grand scheme,
I was gonna say, Latif, you becoming a Michigan fan is probably the craziest arc in this.
I'm not a Michigan fan. I'll just be trolling you.
You becoming a Michigan fan.
Don't worry, Latif. I despise Michigan State. Don't get me wrong.
I don't despise them.
I hate Michigan State. But I hate Michigan that much more that I'll take Michigan State side.
I love Tom Izzo. I love Tom Izzo. He's a hard-nosed coach, and that clip of him like going crazy on that player. I think it was like a year or 2 ago. It just came back on my Twitter timeline.
Gabe Brown.
So I love Tom Izzo in Michigan because he's actually a floor raiser.
Michigan State.
My bad, King. But
King.
I think we talked about college basketball for enough. We got some NBA topics coming up later on the episode. I don't know, Ethan, you want to stay for that? But if not, though, thank you for joining the podcast today. Your insight on college basketball was really good because I think Max and Jordan are probably the most knowledgeable about basketball. Not basketball, my bad. College basketball.
I'll give Jordan the nod over me. I think Jordan with taking pictures and everything. I feel like Jordan's at every single game. I'll give him the nod over me.
Yeah, I'm an ACC guy, so I'm about to say, yeah, I'm covering a lot of ACC in
Yeah.
general, so I'm watching a lot of ACC. I'm not gonna lie, like, a lot of this is my first time, like, a few of the teams, like, I didn't catch a lot of Creighton games this year. I didn't catch a lot of,
It's so tough.
yeah,
It's
that's
so
what
Well,
tough to
it's
watch
Jordan, I don't
everybody.
blame you for not catching a lot of Creighton games this year because for a while there, after being a top 5, top 6
exactly. Yeah,
team,
they start
they
losing,
just
right?
choked.
Yeah.
And then you didn't want to watch. Like, not calling you a casual, but like the casual fan, once you see that team drop out of the top 25, what's your reason to go turn on a Creighton
I'm
game?
definitely a casual college basketball fan to an extent. Like I said, because I cover Duke, so I'm watching ACC. Like I'm really locked in at ACC play 24/7.
Right.
But
Whereas you see, I'll turn on a Sam Houston State basketball game just to enjoy it.
right, yeah. I'm more
Yeah,
so
it's
an NBA guy, but yeah.
it is so tough. Like as far as college, like you have to be watching it all the time because like they call it a power six. Like you're not watching every game every night. You're not watching every
No, of
team
course
every
not.
week. Like
No,
it's so
you're
tough to watch it. So I agree. Like I'm a Big Ten guy. Obviously, I go to a Big Ten school. Like I follow Big Ten basketball. I keep up with what other teams are doing.
right.
But yeah, it's so tough to like honestly sit down and actually follow a Big East team or a Pac-12 team if I really don't care about it
Right.
that much.
My advice to anyone that would want to like follow college basketball more, look up the rankings for the top conferences and bottom ones. Pick 10 conferences, 5 of the top, only 2 of which being in the top 6, and then pick 3 others from the top 16, and then you go to the bottom 16, pick 1 team in each conference for 10 conferences. Just follow them, watch a game a week or at least a half a week, and just fall in love with that team. And that's exactly what I do, and I pick a random team every year. Obviously, now that me and Latif go to Bradley, the Missouri Valley Conference, I have to pick every year, but it's fun. You get to enjoy quality basketball for some of these teams.
Yeah, and that was obviously tough. Us not making the tournament. We was so close, man. We were so close.
You know what? Hey, next year, next year we're predicted to win it. We're good.
Are we though? Because Rank
I'm
is about
happy.
to transfer. I don't know if you saw that. Or
No,
you might
we were predicted even without him. Because Malavi's returning.
Yeah,
For those who don't know, Malavi Leons was the number 1 defensive win shares in the entire country, and realistically could have transferred to a Power 5, probably a better one than Leons, Rinkmast, who is currently, according to Evan Mia, the top rated transfer in the transfer portal. So
yeah, he's old as shit, Leon's. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Ethan. Creating Madness podcast on Spotify. Link will be in the bio.
Madness.
What'd you say?
At ATR Madness on Twitter, ATR Creating Madness on Spotify, Apple Music. And thank you guys for having me. Sorry I joined a bit late. I hope I can come on again.
We used to that with people that come on and also our host that is still not here, supposed to be here. But, yeah, thank you, Ethan, for coming on. You know, probably have you on later in the tournament, probably national championship weekend. If you want to come on, we'll have you back on.
That would be perfect, and I'd love to have you guys on mine. Thank you guys for having me on. I love talking college basketball, probably my favorite topic, and I'm excited for the off season because coaching carousel and transfer portal. They're expecting over 2,000 names in the portal this year, so that'll be fun. Yep. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for having me on. ILL.
All right, see you. All right, moving on to the NBA. Our first topic of NBA is: did the Warriors make a mistake trading James Wiseman to the Pistons?
No.
I want to hear y'all thoughts on this.
No.
Because before y'all just say no, I want to let y'all know that right now in 14 games, James Wiseman is averaging 14 and 10 on 55% from the field in 27 minutes per game. He's being a real contributor over there in Detroit.
Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham are hurt. You're not going to give the ball to the worst true shooting percentage person in Killian Hayes. Jaden Ivey, he's not a great shooter. Like, I'm sorry, someone's got to score the basketball in Detroit because they don't even want to win games.
But they gave him over 2. They only got, I think they got 2 seconds for him, which is like, I mean, really low value for a number 1 overall pick, in my eyes.
What they have to give up for Gary Payton II?
They
5. They give up 5 seconds.
Was that the 5 second-round picks?
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, you have to say they have. Yeah, there were so many second-round picks getting past the trade deadline. It was
5 seconds for Gary Payton is crazy. What you think, Jordan? Was it too early to trade him? I mean, I think he's in what, 3rd year? The second or 3rd year?
Yeah, this is his. No, this is his. If I'm not mistaken, this is his 2nd year.
Yeah, because last year is. Who was last year's rookie?
No, he's
last
LaMelo
year was
draft. He's LaMelo
LaMelo.
draft.
Last year he didn't play. He didn't play last year.
Oh, okay. Well, you kind of know like that, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so this is technically his second year, but do I think they gave up? Are you asking me? Do I think they gave up too much or not? They shouldn't have traded him.
Did they mess? He's asking.
Let's do both of the questions. Let's do both of the questions. Did they give up too early on him? And was it a mistake or?
No, I don't think they. I mean, they tried to make it work. He was out all last year. His first year, he was one of the worst players in the NBA when he was on the floor. And even this year when he did play, he just wasn't good. Like they had him up and down. And I don't know
if he wasn't good. Huh? I don't know if that he wasn't good though, Jordan. I think they expected him to, like, they didn't give him any room to develop at all, and that's a problem. They expected him to come in and be a positive piece,
plug and play,
championship aspirations. And what rookies really come in with championship aspirations and be, he ain't having the room to mess up. He didn't have much room to make mistakes. They didn't give him enough opportunity. So in that aspect, I don't think they regret it because, they obviously want to see him grow and progress as a player. And he couldn't do that in Golden State. So I don't know if but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's, I mean, to be fair, I mean, again, he wasn't good. Most players, like I tell y'all in the Discord all the time, like, I don't like judging players off, their first 2 or 3 years. Well, to an extent, like I'm not gonna slander players.
Like
Jalen time Green, to develop.
Like Jalen Green.
And he's not gonna develop, especially in an offense like that where they had just came off winning the championship without him, and you try to plug him back in there, and he has to be good off the bat. I don't think it's his fault necessarily. Again, the man is, I think, what is he, 20 years old, 21 years old? I think in general, you have to give, like I said, it's all about development, and he's not going to develop the way that he needs to on a team like Golden State, where they need him, like I said, to be good instantly, where he has pressure on him out the gate instantly to provide team when his upside is really high.
I'm not gonna lie, Jordan. He froze, but I'm wait till he can hear me again.
Back.
Jordan, I'm not gonna lie. James Wiseman is heading towards bust. I'm not gonna lie. He definitely is. Like, honestly,
heading towards bust.
He's actually heading towards a bust. Like, he's in his third season. His potential, I don't really think is high anymore. Like, he was a second overall pick. Jalen Duren is better than him. Like, James Wiseman might be a bust. Like, honestly.
I think he's scoring right now with the opportunity, but I think if everything goes well for Detroit's not the spot for Wiseman because they have Isaiah Stewart, they have Jalen Duren, and they want Wemby. So I just don't think that Detroit's even the spot for James Wiseman. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing well because he's given an opportunity with injuries, just with a terrible team, like, to kind of make himself work. But, like, at the end of the day, like, I who wants James Wiseman? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a team out there who's really, he's put up 14 and 10. Like, I want him. Like, who wants James Wiseman? Who needs him as a center on their team? Because if Detroit doesn't need him, then who needs it?
He might be out the league. Well, he ain't gonna be out the league because he's a second overall.
No. Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
He's second overall pick, so he's gonna get opportunity. But if we being realistic, he's not that good on defense either. He's an okay rebounder. So I mean, like, what does he do good? He can't shoot.
He's averaging 14 and 10 right now on 57% shooting from the field. Like, some team is gonna what
57%. How impressive is that? If he's
it's not for a big man. You're right. It's not all that impressive, but still, I'm sure he's gonna get shots elsewhere.
He's gonna be a rotation piece. I feel like
right. I'm never saying. Right. I'm not saying he's gonna be a superstar or nothing crazy.
He ain't gonna be out the league. That was you know how we getting carried away. But I'm just saying,
with y'all logic of being a bust, I guess. I mean, actually, no. I guess he probably will be a bust. Like, yeah, he will be a bust.
We can't talk bust. We can't talk bust again.
He was projected. We can't talk bust. We gotta watch what we say when we're talking about bust. We gotta, bust only goes on certain players. But I think he's one of those players. He might have to get labeled as a bust.
Yeah,
I think we all on the same page with the James Wiseman, conversation. But next up, we got contenders and pretenders. Playoffs coming up. Last 10 games of the regular season. I got 6 names, and this is going to go on TikTok. So I need clear, concise answers. So I have the Sixers, Kings, Warriors, Grizzlies, Clippers, and Cavs on my list. So are the Sixers pretenders or contenders? By the way,
Jordan,
they just came off. They just came off an 8-game win streak. Let's put some respect on the
Jordan,
name.
Yeah,
They
Jordan.
just came off.
Wait,
They just came off an 8-game win streak. Let's put some respect on the Sixers name. Like honestly,
is Jordan going first or am I going first? Is Jordan going first or am I going first?
Yeah,
You go ahead.
I'll say they're a contender. I ain't gonna lie,
that's not too crazy to say. That's not crazy to say.
Joel Embiid, yeah, I know. Joel Embiid's MVP level. James Harden can be a number 2 on a championship winning team. They have a good bench.
They don't have a good bench.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Shooting well,
They do not have a good bench.
Is D'Anthony Melton starting? Is D'Anthony Melton starting?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay, never mind then. I thought D'Anthony Melton's one of my favorite bench pieces in the league. So, no, I don't know. I do think Philly's a contender, especially other teams in the West or in the East. I think there are very few contenders, and I would put Philly in the upper echelon of contenders.
No, Philadelphia is not contenders. Yes, Embiid is playing at an MVP level. He might win MVP. He's the favorite right now to win MVP. He might just do it. He might finally do it. James Harden playing, he's averaging a career high in assists, a career high shooting from beyond the arc this year. But and Tyrese Maxey's been really well this year, averaging a dub a game. But like we just said, the bench is trash. Come playoff time, we're going to need to see more. I mean, I'm not going to say we're going to need to see more depth, but you're going to have to eventually, they're going to have to, figure out what their 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation is. And after their 7th guy on the bench, who are we depending on to get, real crunch time minutes?
George Niang.
No, I was just gonna say, please don't say George Niang.
George Niang, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna be relying on George Niang to
please don't
bring
say
down
George
some game
Niang.
for you. And I don't know. I mean, just compared to the two top dogs at the top of the East.
Yeah.
For being realistic, like they're not beating either one of those teams come playoff time. I have yet to see Embiid do it in the playoffs. Embiid really, I've yet to see him in a few postseasons at least show up and play like himself. So
he is really bad at 4 quarters in the playoffs. Really bad.
Yeah, exactly. And are we going to see that this year? Hopefully, but we haven't seen it. And and I'm sort of on the train of if Embiid doesn't make it at least to the conference finals this year, we might have to start questioning. He might be on fraud watch if he doesn't at least make the conference finals this year because he has yet to do it.
So if Philly doesn't make the conference finals, I'm not trying to think off season yet, but like where do they go? Harden's a free agent. Obviously, like I do agree, like it's been years and years of not getting it done, right? Being so close, but you can't get it done either. Whatever the shot against the Raptors, whatever in the bubble, like you just can't get it done. So I guess like what is that next step for Philly? Is it finding a new partner for Embiid?
I'll tell you what it is. It's going to get Dame. That's what it is. But we can talk about it later. I don't know why you're making that face. I don't know why you're making that face.
No.
I don't know why you're making that face.
I guess
there's a very good option. There's a very good
How
option.
many people do we have to put next to Embiid to see if it's going to work?
Let me go. I was about to get into that. Let me
ask you one question. What are you? So if you think their biggest issue right now is their bench, how are you going to trade for Damian Lillard without giving up the farm? See, that's like the only issue is. Like,
it wouldn't be the farm. It would just be Tyrese Maxey in a couple places.
That's the thing, though. Like,
you think that they're
gone then. Gone.
No, Jordan. Who else have gives them? Who else have to give them?
Don't they not have any picks? Didn't they trade their picks away?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dame, and that's the thing. The Blazers don't want pennies on the dime or pennies on the dollar for like they want everything for Dame. They want an entire franchise in return for Dame. So he's not some cheap player to trade for. Like,
what contender can give a lot of assets? No one.
That's the thing. That's why no one's traded for him.
The Bucks.
That's why they could.
No. That's why Dame is still on the Blazers.
So we have a Dame topic later. We're not getting into Dame. We have a Dame topic later, so we can get to all this.
That's the whole reason with some players being like untouchable. It's not because the fact that their value is so high, but like how is Philly where their bench is non-existent? What you're saying is like they don't have a bench, they don't have this, they don't have that. How are you going to trade for a team? Are you expecting them to go sign James Wiseman and put him on the court next to Damian Lillard and Joel Embiid? Like, there's no one you could put next to him as far as money, as far as picks. Like, you're losing everything trading for Dame. It'd be sick to have Dame and Embiid on the court. That's still not the best duo in the league, potentially. I'm not going to lie. At their peak, still might not be the best duo. But, like, there's just nothing around them. You need them to both score 40, 50 a night.
Okay, so I don't think the Sixers are contenders either. I mean, they're on the 8-game heater. They were on the 8-game heater. Also, the Bulls last night. But they're not contenders for the exact reason Jordan said. They're not beating the Sixers they're not beating the Celtics or the Bucks. Not
Top
realistically in any playoff series. They don't have the best duo in those playoff series. Giannis is better than Embiid, and the Bucks are just a better team. The Celtics are a better team. If they were to beat one of the two, it would be the Celtics, I think, because Jason Tatum has been in a slump. He's showing he's inconsistent. Jaylen Brown has been the best player since All-Star break, and I don't have the Sixers beating them, but I think that's a possibility.
The Bucks match up better with the Sixers than the Celtics do. Just as far as I think with having Brook Lopez and having Giannis,
yeah.
You can defend
definitely
a lot better.
They can't guard Embiid. Every time they play Embiid goes crazy. But I want to say this.
You're saying the Celtics.
Yeah,
the
Celtics.
Can't guard Embiid. Okay.
I don't think a center in a modern era in the NBA can be the best player on a championship winning team. I don't think a center can do that. And we're about to see that with Jokic this year as well, because the Nuggets are not winning a championship either. I don't think a center. When is the last time a center was the best player on a championship team? It was like,
yeah,
they didn't win it.
You saying that won?
Yes, that won it.
So would you say
maybe
Dirk?
Tim Duncan? But I mean, that was probably Manu or Tony.
Would you say Dirk's a power forward?
I get Dirk. You can say Giannis.
Yeah, no, Dirk was power forward, and that was 12 years ago. And I'm talking about in the last 20 years, last 15, 10 years, we rarely see centers. This is a guard in a different league.
Would you say KG is more of that kind of center?
No,
would you say KG? But I feel like he played more center than Giannis and Dirk did.
No, he didn't.
I'm just saying positional wise.
I could say AD.
He wouldn't play 5. What are we doing? Hey, LeBron was best player. Stop. Anyways,
I think so.
So Joel Embiid is not. I don't think Joel Embiid can't be the best player on the championship winning team, and we've seen that a lot of times. He needs a second start in a 14 as someone that's better than him.
Could a Wembanyama type center though be the best player? Like I'm just saying, build wise, you could shoot. You could.
This is not even a guard-driven league anymore, bro. This is not even a guard-driven league as far as championships. The championship teams are built with wings. Giannis is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a permanent player.
Don't say Giannis is a wing. Yeah, don't say Giannis.
I didn't say he's a wing. I say he's a permanent player. I mean, he plays in the post as well.
Yeah, but I mean, your best players are Kevin Durant, LeBron James.
Exactly. That's the type of player you need.
Kawhi Leonard.
I don't think Jokic gonna get it done. But let's I don't want to go.
I agree. I don't think we've talked about. I don't think the Nuggets are gonna get it done.
I don't want to go too far off topic. What the heck is wrong with my phone?
Yeah, we got more contenders.
Yeah, we got more contenders and pretenders. Okay. Next up, we have the Kings. Second best record in the West. They've been amazing on offense this season, amazing at home this season, amazing on the road this season. A very young team.
Can we all say our answer at the same time? Can we all say our answer at the same time?
1, 2, 3. Pretenders. They're definitely pretenders. Nobody's winning that shit now. They're getting bounced in the first round, respectfully, because they're gonna play Lakers or the Warriors. Yes, they're losing. The Kings are losing in the first round.
Shoot, every team that the Lakers need to lose is winning right now. So
Jordan, we're making playoffs. Stop, dude. What's wrong?
Hey man, I don't know. The days come closer. I don't know, man.
We're making the playoffs. Let's keep faith, man. We got to keep faith. Are the Warriors contenders or pretenders? This is gonna be a spicy one. Are the Warriors contenders or pretenders?
The Warriors are pretenders.
Oh yes, the Warriors are pretenders for sure. The Warriors are pretenders. They definitely are.
What, Max? What do you think about Max? Are you about to say they're contenders?
They're not contenders.
At the end of the day, I want to say contenders very badly.
No.
Just because I don't like the Warriors, but it's still Steph Curry at the end of the day. I think it depends on their draw. I think if they can get Sacramento round 1 and try and get Memphis round 2, obviously that's great. But I think right now with how everything's gone, I'll say pretenders this year. I want to say contenders. At the end of the day, the best players in the world get it done, and I do think Steph can get. I don't know. I think
the reason they're pretenders though is because their record on the road is abysmal.
The road is bad,
and they'll have to go literally perfect in the playoffs at home, and they have to go perfect on home. They're not going to be. They're not going to have home court advantage.
I get you, but mentally, the playoffs are significantly different than the regular season. If you have a 7-game series, I have a tough time picking Steph Curry than majority of other people in the Western Conference. Like
they can't win at home against bad teams either.
I'm just saying.
Wait, they can't win on the road, bro.
You don't play bad teams on the road. You don't play bad teams in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I think. Why are you making that face?
What is there? I'm just saying. Who is their first round matchup?
Steph. What's
I'm assuming it's the Grizzlies right now. Are they the 6th seed?
They're beating the Grizzlies.
Honestly,
I'm sorry, they're beating the Grizzlies.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I can see the Grizzlies beating them this year. I can see the Grizzlies. They don't have Andrew Wiggins. They don't have Andrew Wiggins.
That is true. That's true. I'll agree.
I'm not gonna lie.
That hurts a lot.
I think as much as people want to say that the Grizzlies own the Warriors or the Warriors, they got all that stuff. They beat them last year in the playoffs, but this year the Grizzlies are dominating the Warriors. I know it's regular season, but it's something in the air this year, and I just feel like the Grizzlies can actually get it done. The fact that Clay just keep doing this corny ass shit, holding up the four rings and all that stuff, bro, it just doesn't feel right this year. And couple that with the fact they can't win on the road, it's just like, bro.
It's more about their defense. They don't have like last year they had Otto Porter. Last year they had Andrew Wiggins. Last year they had Gary Payton. Gary Payton is hurt right now. He still has a core injury. I don't think he's gonna be coming back unless they make like a deeper playoff run. Those are 3 key defenders that they don't have. And especially because they were able to go small with Otto Porter and run him at the 5 in a lot of lineups, obviously when Draymond's running the 5, you can have Otto Porter out there with him because he can stretch the floor. Now, who do they have? Anthony Lamb that's in that Otto Porter role, they got key omissions.
Otto Porter. Okay.
Key omissions, but at the end of the day, still have Steph. They played Sacramento as of right now. They play Sacramento round.
And they're losing to Sacramento. Just in my
opinion. Hold on, what the fuck?
Yeah,
they're not losing to Sacramento. Respectfully, Jordan.
Sacramento has the worst defense.
Sacramento has the worst defense in the NBA, bro.
I like Sacramento.
Be honest.
They have the worst defense
in the
NBA.
It's up there.
They're going against Steph Curry.
I'm not gonna lie. The Kings are not.
And where's Golden State?
Huh? They have bad defense. They have bad defense, but it's Stephen Curry. He's not losing to the Kings.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
The best offense in the league right now. One of the best offenses we've seen in the past few years.
And that's fine. And that's fine. But I'm not gonna lie. They can still win. They can still win on the road from the Kings. I know they haven't won road games all the entire year, but it's the Kings, bro. At the end of the day, it's still the Kings, and they're not beating the Warriors, bro. I think the Warriors lose in the second round unless they see.
They're not beating the Warriors because they're the Warriors. Are they not beating the Warriors because what?
They're not beating the Warriors because the Warriors have
give me a real answer. They're not beating the Warriors. Why?
I know. Like having the best player in the series doesn't mean that much. But when you have the best player,
how does that not mean much?
We just saw it last year that it didn't mean that much against the Celtics and the Nets. But I'm not even trying to compare the series.
What about
I'm literally on your side. If you stop interrupting me, I'm literally on your side.
Huh? What about the Suns and Mavericks? The best player on the team.
I'm literally on your side. So you don't got to argue at this point.
Though.
Listen, like when the gap in players,
the Bucks had the best player in the league and they lost to the Celtics last year.
They didn't have this. Listen. I think Andrew Wiggins.
They don't have Andrew Wiggins.
I think first of all, I think Andrew Wiggins will be back by the first round. 1, 2.
Why do you think that?
Bro, I mean, I know he got a lot going on right now. We don't know what happened around him, but I mean, it's the playoffs. And come on, man, he's probably gonna be back.
It's the playoffs. Listen, it's the playoffs. He has personal thing going on.
I don't think the Warriors are winning the championship this year. I don't think they're contenders, but they're not losing to the Kings. Like when a gap in your best player is that far, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Stephen Curry is like he's like 4 De'Aaron Foxes. To be honest, he's like 4 times better than that nigga. Like let's be honest, bro.
Let's not be disrespectful. De'Aaron Fox not disrespectful. I love De'Aaron Fox.
That's not disrespectful. Stephen Curry's a top 5. Yes, Stephen Curry's a
De'Aaron Fox is an all-star this year.
That's fine. And Stephen Curry is generational. He's an all-timer, bro. He's a top 10. He's a top 10 player ever. At this
keep
point,
going. I agree
right
with you I agree with you.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, like, Clay's been playing well this year. Obviously not on defense. I mean, Draymond in the playoffs, you got to assume that he's gonna pick up on defense. GP2 is he's not gonna be back probably, but I mean,
doing a whole lot of what ifs. What if Andrew Wiggins comes back? What if
bro,
GP2
I'm not gonna lie. Without Andrew Wiggins, they're still not being the worst. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
please be for real right now.
Bro,
are you serious?
Stephen Curry is not losing to the Kings. Stephen Curry, I promise you, Stephen Curry's not losing to the Kings, bro. Let's be honest, he's not. I'm sorry. I'm going to sound ignorant.
If the Kings and Warriors are playing the playoffs, we should have a bet. Without Andrew Wiggins, we should have a bet.
Yes, we can have a bet. I will bet you because this is going to sound ignorant, but they have the best player in the series, and he's a lot better. He's better than Sabonis and he's better than Sabonis and Aaron Fox combined.
Okay,
Come on, bro.
Okay, now if you go roster for roster right now, the Kings are better than the Warriors.
That's debatable. That's debatable.
See,
without Andrew Wiggins in the lineup?
I mean, so
Who's
let's
the
go.
Warriors' second best player?
Huh?
Who's the Warriors'
this
second
year?
best player without Andrew?
Probably
The fact that
Klay
you have to
Thompson.
think about that
Klay
is
Thompson.
crazy.
No. Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson. And
Jordan
Klay Thompson, Sabonis is better than
I
Klay
don't even
Thompson.
like Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole?
I don't even
We haven't
like
said Jordan Poole name the whole conversation.
I was gonna say I don't even like.
Listen.
I don't even like
Klay
Jordan
Thompson
Poole,
is the second best player, and Sabonis is better than him, right? But I'm not gonna lie, Stephen Curry clears. He clears Sabonis and Aaron Fox combined. Klay Thompson is not better than Sabonis. But after that, it's Herter, right? Yes or no?
Herter.
Or Malik Monk.
Malik Monk, sure.
I'm taking Jordan Poole over both of them. Yes or no?
No, not this
What
year.
the? Jordan, stop. Jordan Poole is better than Malik Monk.
Jordan Poole is the worst defender in the league.
No, he's not.
I'm lying?
Trae Young is better.
Jordan Poole or Austin Reeves?
Austin Reeves.
All right, stop. Jordan Poole is better than Austin Reeves. Like, you're not, see, this, I ain't gonna lie. Lakers, look, bro, Lakers, this is getting out. Stop. I saw that in the Discord. People are saying that the Austin Reeves deserves $80 million. Like, actually, people are saying that right now.
80. He deserves the contract that they're saying they're gonna give him now.
Some team is gonna fuck around and offer him big money.
No, they're not.
You know what I mean?
No, they're not, bro. No, they're not.
What is big money?
Bro,
some team will offer him a 4 or 5 year deal. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So with
how
how much
the
people get,
Lakers gonna do that.
Let me make sure I know how much this is.
No,
per year.
Like, come on, bro. No, this thing dropped. He dropped 35.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If someone gets paid 80, if he gets paid 80 for 5, he gets paid 16 mil a year. I could see some bad team trying to pay him that money.
No, for what? He's not a star player. That's not a type of contract. He's not a star player. He's a role player. A team that was trying to sign him.
Role players get paid more money now.
No, a team that I understand that, but a team that want to use Austin Reeves as a contender, bro. He's gonna sign with a contender if he leaves the Lakers.
So how much money? How much money you think? How much money are you
10 to 15.
10
to 15.
I said 16, so I'm on the high end of yours.
But he's not getting $8 million. I'm sorry, sir. He's getting probably like 4 years, $50 million. That's 4 years, $50 million is what is the offer.
10 to 15, and I said 16. So we're in the same ballpark.
Wait, so four years
is not getting $60 million.
I'm trying to tell you. He's not getting that, bro.
I don't know.
He's getting $50 million. I feel like $50 million is low-key kind of like, come on, bro.
Bro, he's a two-way player, bro. He was on two-way. He was undrafted, bro. They better not give Austin Reeves nothing more than $50 million.
I don't think LA will. I think someone's gonna force LA's hand. I don't know who it's gonna be.
LA has his
Charlotte,
though. He's restricted free agent.
That's what I'm saying. Someone else can still give him an offer, and they have to match it. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, shit.
So
but I mean, at that point, if somebody's giving Austin Reeves $70 million, I mean, I think LA is just gonna let him walk.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro,
I think someone's gonna force their hand to take him away from him.
It was people in Discord saying I'm an idiot if we let Austin Reeves walk. They said if a team offered him 4 year, $80 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we let him walk, I'm an idiot for letting him walk. How? Like, what are we doing? Like,
20 million, I get where it's $4 million difference. 20 million a year is too much. I do think 15, 16, I could see him getting though.
Oh, let's not get to off topic because we were talking about Austin Reeves. But also Jordan Poole is better than Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter. We're gonna play a player for the Kings and the Warriors. Jordan Poole is better than Kevin Huerter. Who is the next best player? Harrison Barnes or what's his name?
Dante DiVincenzo.
No, bro. What are you talking about? Harrison Barnes or what's the dude? He's just dropped high this year. He's light skinned. He has a twin in college in Iowa.
Oh, Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray, yes.
Keegan Murray's pretty good.
He's pretty nice. He's pretty nice on offense, yes. But
he's pretty well.
let's hop in
the next one.
I got you. Next contender or pretender, the Grizzlies.
Pretender. Wait, you said what?
Pretender.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Pretender. Yeah, pretender.
I'm on the fence with this one because we're not gonna act like the Grizzlies did not just hold up. They did not just play well without Ja Morant.
They do that every year.
I understand that.
They still have Dylan Brooks. So I'm not.
Ja Morant got something to prove this year.
The Grizzlies have one of the worst half-court offenses I've seen in the league.
They do.
And
let me not even troll. With that being said, the Grizzlies are pretenders for sure. They just don't.
Cool.
They don't have the firepower. They don't have the firepower to beat any of the teams, the Suns or the Nuggets. So they're pretenders as well.
and that's what it comes down to. Again, that's really what it comes down to with most of these teams. Like when we're talking about contenders versus pretenders, do they even compare, or can they contend with the other two best teams? So no matter what the other teams are going to say, like if they're not the Cavs, if they're not, not the Cavs, they're not the Celtics or the Bucks, if they're not the Suns or the Nuggets, or at least if they're not those four teams, like I feel like those are the four contenders, like main key contenders right now. I guess you can say the Sixers are probably the best of the rest of the bunch, but
we got another one coming up. That's pretty spicy.
Why do you keep saying spicy? Why do you keep saying spicy?
Let me rock. Contenders or pretenders, the Clippers.
Contenders. They have the firepower to get it done. They have bench depth. They have shooting. They have defense. You can say what you want about Russ. I get it. Russ could lose you a game, but he can also win you a game in the playoffs.
No, he can't.
I get the hate. He can win you one game in a series. So we're not.
No,
gonna
he
talk
cannot
about
do
this.
that. Where are you getting
Anyways,
that from?
if Russ goes out and gets 5, 12, and 12, he's winning you that game.
No, he's dropped stat lines like that, and they lost it this year. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are they 8-0? Are they 8? Are they 8 straight, 9 straight now?
5, gang. 5. They're on a 5-game streak.
Well, regardless, I still think that out of all the teams on here, the Sixers, the Warriors, and the Clippers have like players that can get it done, because the Sixers obviously Embiid has not gotten it done. Curry and Kawhi are the only two players to get it done on this list. PG, I think if given the right one, PG could be the number 2 on a championship team. Is that a crazy take?
No.
Good.
No, I think that should be the take. Like, I think just
making sure. I love PG. I think that he can take over a game, obviously, but when we saw this in the playoffs, when all the pressure's on him, I think people shit on him way too much. But Kawhi Leonard, I think when the Clippers are playing at their best, I think they can beat the Nuggets, and I think they can contend with the Suns. I'm not high on the Nuggets.
Jordan is shaking his head. I want to know why Jordan is shaking his head when you said that he could beat the Nuggets and
I think they can compete. They can compete with the Suns. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Suns. They can compete.
Are the Clippers
Suns, healthy Suns? Healthy Suns. Hold on, healthy Suns. Let me make sure I say that.
Are the Clippers pretenders or contenders, Jordan?
I think they're contenders, but they're like. I think I'm gonna say that they're contenders just off the strength of Kawhi looking like he's back to being himself, and Kawhi being one of the best, at least in my opinion, like one of the 3 best playoff performers, that we have in the league right now. Before his injury, he was averaging, I think it was at 30. He was averaging 30 on like 68, 45, 90 splits or something crazy. Like, so I believe a lot in Kawhi. I think when it comes down to it in a playoff setting, like I said, he's just one of the best players in the league in general at his best. And I believe in him. Then you surrounding him with shooting. You're surrounding him with some 3-and-D players. If the Clippers are pretenders, it's not because of Paul George and Russell Westbrook. I think it's a lot to do with Ty Lue's coaching style. He's pretty good, but he's the adjustment king. But and I think in certain playoff series they're gonna have to eventually sit Marcus Morris because he's been bad all year for the most part. And for some reason Ty Lue's in love with Marcus Morris, and he just refuses to play Robert Covington. And I feel like in a lot of playoff series, Robert Covington can be that 3-and-D guy that you need. That point of attack defender in space. Given the matchup, he can be really huge. He probably serves more of a purpose out on the floor than Marcus Morris. And then you throw on top of that, you throw Russ in the mix. You throw Eric Gordon, Zubac, who's playing well. But the only reason why I would say that they're a pretender, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to face off against the Suns or the Nuggets. And we saw last time when the Nuggets played the Clippers in the playoffs, we saw Jokic just absolutely abuse Ivica Zubac and get him in foul trouble. And then once he gets in foul trouble, they're going to have to go small. And, there was no answer for Jokic. And a part of the reason why Jamal Murray had the series that he went is because Jokic was seeing doubles all the time. At the time, Jeremy Grant was playing really well. Now you replace him with Aaron Gordon, who was, an all-star caliber player. the Nuggets, just in general, again, the Nuggets in
Cut out.
any given series, in a 7-game series, I think that they can go 7 with either one of those teams if we're being real. But the Clippers and the Suns are 4-5 right now, and based on the gap in who's above them and below them, it's looking like they have a good chance to play each other in the first round. So we'll see. But I'll say the Clippers are contenders just out of respect for Kawhi.
I got one question, Jordan, for you as we talked about. Should I ask it now, Latif, or should I let you go and then ask it after?
What is it about?
The Clippers, I guess, kind of future, but kind of like I put the Clippers and the Sixers in a similar position, right?
Mhm.
They're on the cusp of that championship, right? Like being a favorite, but at the same time, they have no sense of a future. So I guess similarly with the Sixers and the Clippers, like if the Clippers don't get it done again this year, like what's you know what I mean? Like where do they go? You know what I mean? Like the Thunder have all their picks. Like we have their picks, we have their pick swaps. Like they can't tank. Like it's a tough position because PG and Kawhi are free agents sometime, or they have some sort of player option.
I just signed an extension right before he got. I think it was right
after. So they both sign extensions, or just Kawhi? Because I can't remember now.
I think both of them did, if I'm not mistaken.
So regardless, are you just gonna keep running back the same core over? You know what I mean? Like the Philly and the Clippers are just, and obviously, the Clippers are trying to do their own thing now, build their own stadium and whatever, like kind of create their own brand. But they are similar teams as far as where they are now in their sense of direction. So I guess Latif, this is for you too. I guess, like if you're either one of those two teams and you don't win now, and like let's say you get killed, right? Let's say Phoenix beats them in 5, or Denver beats them in 4 or 5, or you know what I mean? Like same with Philly. Like where do you go from here? Obviously, Latif, you said Dame, but like I think the Clippers are in a different position because they have a bench, they have the shooting, you know what I mean? Like it seems like they should have the pieces to win, and they can't.
I mean, your only option is try to be competitive every year, try to keep going with Kawhi and Paul George. The wheels fall off. If I'm the Clippers, open up a new arena this season, or I mean next season, or in the near future.
Season.
So you get out under the thumb of the Lakers and try to get your own, try to build your own brand, try to build your own shine. I don't think they have many young players that have any potential for the future. So they're in like you said, they're in that weird position where they have to compete every year, or it's like a championship or bust every year for them, or that trade for Shea, which we're gonna talk about later, the Thunder. So I don't want to dwell too much on that. But I think the Clippers are, like you said, in that weird position, like the Sixers. Well, if they don't win a championship, it's like, what did you make all these moves for? What did you go like? It's like the Rams, in the NFL. Like you said, fuck them picks, and it has to lead to the championship, or it wasn't worth it. So I don't think they derailed their franchise, because even before they got Kawhi and Paul George, I don't think their ceiling was that high either. I don't know if Shea turns out to be what he was on the Clippers, but maybe
you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know.
I don't know about that. So, but I think the Clippers are I think the Clippers are contenders this year because of Kawhi is back to who he was before he got injured. He's averaging 30 points on 50% from the shooting and 50% from 3 as well. Elite season this year. Probably all NBA if he has enough games played. So I think the Clippers are contenders. Moving on to the next team. I think this is the last team. We have the Cavaliers. I think they just beat the Nets tonight. They are 4th in the East. Donovan Mitchell has been on a tear. They're looking really good this year. Can they contend in the East this season?
No.
Yeah, I think I don't want to even say they're pretenders, because like who even expects them to, you know what I mean? But the Cavs are pretenders because they just can't beat. They can't beat
Milwaukee. So, and I think that the playoffs are going to shape up the way that they're aligned right now.
You think they got a shot against the Celtics?
No, they're not. No.
I can see it.
I think I don't know, Donovan. Everybody else, like I believe in Donovan Mitchell, but they just don't have they just don't defensively. They just don't have the wing depth to guard like a Jason Tatum or.
Yeah, but they can like force. They can scheme against.
Brown.
They can scheme against. I think they can scheme against Jason Tatum, and because they can like try to force him to attack the basket more than he would like to. I don't think Jason Tatum has taken strides at finishing around the basket. But when I watch him, I think that's still probably the weakest part of his game. It's just finishing at the basket. and they have two of the best rim protectors in the NBA, and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. So if they try to like flush them to the paint, more so like the Warriors did, taking away their right hand, forcing them left. I think it's a blueprint out on the Celtics based on what the Warriors did last year. But the Warriors are obviously one of the best defensive teams last year. The Cavs are the best defensive team in the league this year. They don't have, like you said, the offensive firepower probably to get over that hump. It depends on how well Darius Garland plays in his first series, how Donovan Mitchell plays in his first series. But we ain't gonna act like Jaylen Brown hasn't regressed on defense, and I mean he's grown a lot offensively though. And that right though. So I mean, I wouldn't pick them to beat the Celtics at all. I wouldn't be surprised though.
It ain't happening. Just like you said, I mean, I understand, but I still got Celtics in 5 because, like you're saying, they did
5 is
take
crazy, kind of.
Yeah, Celtics in 5. Sorry. I think when you just look at like you're saying, I understand what you're saying about forcing Tatum and Brown to the rim and forcing them to create with their offhand, but that's what you go out and get a Malcolm Brogdon for. That's what you go out and get a bunch more shooters that are capable of spreading the floor. Like obviously shooting last year, their team this year is better than the team last year. And like I said, you defer some of them playmaking responsibilities to Malcolm Brogdon. You defer some of, I feel like in general, they have more depth this year than they did last year. Grant Williams is still playing the way that he's playing defensively. Defensively, they're still one of the best defensive teams in the league, one of the best offenses in the league in general. I just think that it'll be too much for, the Celtics, who are unproven and young, and come playoff time, because the Cavs. I'm assuming that the Cavs are gonna have to play the Knicks in the first round, and that won't be easy. So, who's to say the Knicks can't pull off something and beat the Cavs?
I'm gonna say it, me. I'm saying it right now. That's 6-game series. I don't care how good the Knicks are this year. That's 6-game series. They don't have it either. They didn't. Like, I don't want to go too much on them. They need to trade RJ Barrett to get better. And I think they have a decent future, and that's their way to be better than contending the East. Max, are the Cavs contenders or contenders?
I love the Cavs. I think that player wise, I'm a big fan of Evan Mobley, big fan of Darius Garland, big fan of Donovan Mitchell, obviously. But yeah, I'd say they're pretenders. I think they're still a year or so away. Let Evan Mobley develop, get a couple more bench pieces, get some more shooting. I think they have the blueprint to have a contender of a team in 2 or 3 years. But this year, I don't see them beating Boston. I don't see them beating Milwaukee. I don't know if I even see them beating Philly. Yeah, I'm not. If I'm the Cavs, I'm not worried about New York. I'm not really losing sleep over them. But at the end of the day, I don't think. I'm not gonna say Boston in 5. I think it's a little disrespectful. I think Milwaukee could beat him in 5, but yeah, I don't think that they're there yet. I think they're still a little bit away.
Okay, so that's it for the contenders and pretenders. Say we were gonna do a 2021 redraft, but I think we already did a lot of topics today, and Jaden didn't end up being able to make it. So our last 2 topics are we can talk about the Thunder. I think the Thunder are the 9th seed in the West right now. One of the more surprising teams this year coming to the season. We all thought they were probably going to try to tank for Wembanyama. Shea has an amazing season, averaging 31 points, 5-5 this year. So they're being competitive. They can possibly make the playoffs this year if things go right. So does this team have the brightest future in the NBA?
Yeah, in my opinion. When you look at how Jalen Williams is playing, like you already said, Shea is averaging 30, and right now having the best season of his career. He's going to be all NBA this year. You plug in Chet Holmgren, who didn't play this year, who I've seen today a lot of clips of him shooting around before the games. Look like he's getting a little buff. He looked like he's been in the weight room. We saw how he played in the summer league. So, and like I said, he was top 2 pick last year. So they're doing all this without potentially their second best player. And again, we didn't expect Jalen Williams to play what you're saying. Jalen Williams is their second best player. That's fine, but either way, Chet at best is going to be your third best, and then you plug in another lottery pick next year. You plug in, you just look at the roster and how it's constructed. You still have pieces like Trey Mann off the bench. You still have a few other players on the bench. Huh?
Isaiah Joe, Josh Giddey.
Isaiah Joe
Aaron
is
Wiggins. Aaron
shooting.
Wiggins too.
Aaron Wiggins
Okay.
playing real. Isaiah Joe is shooting. I think he's
Kenrich
leading the league
Williams.
in 3-point per shooting. Yeah, 3-point percentage. So it's like, you have a lot of great pieces. And like I said, you're doing all this without Chet. You're doing all this without another year of Shea's progression, with another year of Jalen Williams' progression, with Chet coming back, with all the pieces that I named. Everybody's getting better year after year. Next year, they will for sure be a playoff team, a playoff lock, in my opinion. So, I think that the future is bright. And for the most part, I think that you should be very weary. I feel like next year they can have a year sort of like the Kings are having right now, and surprise a lot of people and be at the top of the West. So yeah,
This is obviously Max's team, so I want to hear his input on that. You go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I think as far as brightest future, I think like obviously Shea's a great player. I look at like teams like Milwaukee and teams like Dallas as far as like having a young superstar, right? Like having a top 5, top 10 player, and like how can their future look if those players kind of stay. Obviously it's great. Being like the position like where you're winning games, you're winning competitive. What you were saying, like the Thunder play winning basketball. Like yeah, I think like these guys are hungry every night. They want to come out and they want to win. Obviously, we saw that in LeBron's night where he won or where he got the scoring title. Right, Thunder didn't care, came back. Isaiah Joe shot the lights out, and you know what I mean. Like that whole night, just put it to bed. Like it's like those kind of games where like they're not really worried about much. They're playing their own game, and it's nice. The team as a whole, the team's really fun to watch. Watching Jalen Williams, Shea, Josh Giddey, like they're just a fun team to watch. Like good group of guys. Like it's fun to watch basketball. Like it's fun to watch them play basketball. I know I texted you this, Latif, and obviously like this is thinking high in the future. I did say like, yeah. I think it's like
that was crazy, and I was thinking about that today too when I was getting the
So
thumbnails.
it's kind of just so Jordan, I touched on it, and I said if the Thunder hit a pick or I think if the Thunder hit 2-3 picks, like we're obviously talking dynasty, just as far as like the pieces that they have in front of them. I'm just simply saying like we have so many picks. Like if you hit a couple, like you could set yourself up for the future. And you can't say that's crazy because
it's not crazy.
good,
I don't know. It's just thinking about it is crazy, but I mean that's
like,
not crazy.
Like
I agree. It's not crazy.
Think about it, yeah. If you
I think that's
slide
crazy
into
to
the,
say. That's kind of crazy.
If you slide into the top 2, top 3 this year, what if they get a Brandon Miller or Victor Wembanyama? What if your lineup next year looks like Shea at the 1, Giddey at the 2, Jalen Williams at the 3, and you go Chet and Wemby, or you go Mill? You know what I mean? Like you could build a really young team, and then the next picks in the draft because we still have so many. And I get it. The issue will be trying to win on the rookie contracts and trying. You know what I mean? Like because at some point in time, you're going to have to start paying everybody. So you're going to have to pick who's essential to your team. But like,
make sure they won't slide into the top team because they have Clippers and their own pick.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, if we want Brandon Miller or Victor Wembanyama that bad, we could get him. We could throw. You know what I mean? Like we could throw the farm of picks at whoever. You know what I mean? Like we have so many picks. Like the Thunder could literally just like throw whatever they want to go get those picks. I get it, it's not realistic, but like the Thunder will have a window where you know what I mean? Like if they can win while these guys are on the rookie contracts, like you know what I mean? They could do it obviously very well. You have like the 2015 Warriors, you know what I mean? When they won, you got to start making cuts. They obviously let go of like Harrison Barnes, right? You keep Steph, Clay, Dre, you let go of some of the side pieces like Harrison Barnes. So you like look at that with the Thunder teams. If you go on this, you know what I mean? If their team develops, like I'm not still sold on Chet. I get he's injured. I hope Chet pans out, but Chet still scares me as a prospect sometimes. Jalen Williams looks great. Giddey looks great. But like when you're looking down the line, who is going to fit your scheme, obviously going forward? So I think the Thunder's good years, the Thunder's like I don't think we'll be the Kings next year. I think we're still a piece or two away from having, unless Chet has some insane rookie year, I think we're still a piece or two away from being that. I don't think we have a second star right now that could be putting up whatever 20 and 10. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to go by that, I don't know if Chet's going to be doing that rookie year. So I think as far as if we could get another star, I did hear I have been seeing stuff that the Thunder are going to be active in the Trae Young market this summer. Trae Young trying to get off his.
Please,
I don't. I don't know if I love the fit, but I keep seeing on
Please, dear God,
Instagram
no.
that Sam Presti says not Sam Presti, someone said like the Thunder are going to try and get Trae Young in the market. I don't like Trae Young next to Shea. I don't think that offense makes sense at all. But I do think like if we can go get a star, I think Josh Giddey,
No, Jaylen Brown is the answer. Jaylen
What?
Brown is the answer.
Jaylen Brown is so random.
That's not even random.
Jaylen Brown.
Kind of random.
I'm just saying, as far as free agency, like if we can build around Shea, like as Shea is our side piece, Shea is our Robin. We need a Batman. We have the supporting cast. You know what I mean? Like we have good players. We have Isaiah Joe, Trey Mann off the bench. You have a 3D guy, Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey, who just does everything.
Dame. They should go get Dame if they need to.
I don't know about that.
What's the problem?
I don't know about that, bro.
Dame, are you serious? You're joking?
Dead serious. That's the problem.
So why would first of all, Dame and Shea in a backcourt together? And what are we gonna give up? What are we trading? We just trading 6 first-round picks for Damian Lillard?
3.
I would 3 first-round picks and what?
Well, it probably need like 4. I'm not gonna lie.
I would rather trade.
DeJounte Murray got traded for three first-round picks.
I would rather trade 3 first-round picks for Brandon Miller.
DeJounte Murray got traded for 3 first-round picks straight up.
Yeah, Brandon Miller's like nice.
He's not getting 3 first-round picks for Brandon Miller, bro.
I'm just saying, I don't want Dame on the team. I don't like the way Dame would fit on that team, and especially what he's done to OKC. There's no way he's coming to our team. There's no way. There's no way.
I wanted to so I have a little subtopic under this topic. Paolo or J-Dub for Rookie of the Year?
It's still Paolo. I'm not letting a month or two of Jalen Williams playing at this level.
Paolo has been very efficient for a long time.
You said what?
Paolo has been very inefficient for a long time.
Right. He has been inefficient for a few months, yeah. 3 months, yeah. But again,
most of the season.
You have to look at it. I look at it differently. I look at it as Paolo being, the offense in Orlando versus Jalen Williams being the number 2 to Shea. So yes, there's going to be inefficiencies that come with it, especially again on a team where you are, like I said, the offense to an extent. Like you have pieces around you somewhat, and Fultz and Franz, but they're still playing through Paolo. Like they're playing through Paolo like he's a 5-year vet already, and they're giving him the ball and getting out the way. So, I still think it's still Paolo. Because again, I'm not letting Jalen Williams' recent play as a number 2 overshadow what Paolo has done throughout the entire year. He came into the league playing at a high level already. And again, Jalen Williams didn't come into his own until the last 2 months. So still it's kind of doing a disservice to Paolo to just give it to Jalen Williams off.
I agree. I think Paolo still wins it. But to say that Jalen Williams wasn't really doing much in the first couple of months, like
I'm not saying he wasn't doing much. I'm saying
he wasn't scoring the basketball, but he was doing everything but. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like good defender, rebounder, pass. Like he was doing the intangibles. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I think it's like giving the who won Rookie of the Year for Offensive Rookie of the Year last year for the NFL. I know I'm getting off topic, but who won it?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Last year.
Garrett Wilson. You talking about the year before last?
Yeah, because in my opinion,
no, he wasn't a rookie.
Anyways, I'm not trying to get you.
It was Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson his 3rd year last year.
Yeah, I don't think it was last year. Maybe it was Jamar. Was it Jamar?
Let me see. Wait, go ahead.
Jamar wasn't a rookie last year.
Creed Humphrey had an insane year as a center, right? And was like 3rd.
It was Jamar Chase. My bad.
It was Jamar, yeah. So Creed Humphrey was insane, right? Best center in the league as far as offensive rookie of the year, right? He got voted like 3rd for a center. That's insane. But no one cares about him because he's a center. You know what I mean? No one cares about him because he's not a flashy player and he's not doing all that stuff. I do agree. I think Paolo wins the award. But I think that the stuff that Jalen Williams does before this, like whatever, up until 2 months ago when he started scoring the basketball, him off the ball, him playing defense, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of intangible stuff, like it's not going to win you Rookie of the Year. But as far as like going on, like he should at least I think giving him the nod is, you know what I mean? Like putting him in the conversation is respectful. Like I think it's like it makes sense. So I think Paolo, as far as like, yeah, I get it. He is Orlando's offense. I know people love Franz Wagner. I don't love Franz Wagner. Just I'm a Franz Wagner hater. But Paolo's obviously I agree he's been very inefficient, but he's been scoring the ball. He is Orlando's offense. Jalen Williams doesn't have to do that with Shea, with Giddey just being a Swiss Army knife. And obviously you got shooters and scorers off the bench. But I do think that the stuff that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, Jalen Williams kills Paolo in that conversation. You know what I mean? Like Paolo's a better scorer. He sees the offense, but on basically every other surface, I think Jalen Williams has the upper hand. So I do think scoring is the biggest thing. I think it's what matters the most. But yeah, I do think it's close.
Yeah, Paulo's my rookie of the year just on the fact that he's probably been the most consistent throughout the entire year, and also he has a heavier load to carry over there in Orlando. I do like that Jalen Williams is competing on the contributing on a competing team, on a winning team this year, and so that's always good to see. That's why Ben Simmons really wanted. Donovan Mitchell was on a playoff team as well. But I think they just gave it to him because Sixers were a higher seed. So I know that's crazy to even think about in the rookie year debate. But yeah, Paolo is he carries a more offensive load. He's been more consistent from day one in the NBA. He looked like an all-star almost all-star level player in his first game in the NBA. Moving on. I'm gonna hold this topic until Jaden come on because this is really we're gonna talk about the Pelicans' future. That's Jaden is a design dude, so I feel like it's a disservice to even talk about that. We have the last topic of the show today. Do you guys want to do the 2021 redraft or no? I think it'll be good for TikTok, but
you can wait for Jaden. I think we wait for Jaden.
Wait for Jaden.
When is you guys' next show?
It's supposed to be
Thursday.
It's supposed to be Thursday.
What you think? What was? You just go to the last topic first, and we'll see.
Okay.
For the topic sheet, you don't have this last one. You don't have these last two.
Yeah. Also, and this meeting's going to end at 11:32. So, anyways, Blazers potentially shut down Dame. So, a report came out a couple days ago that if the Blazers kept losing and fell out to play and all of that, then they might just shut down Dame for the entirety of the year. And they have literally been losing, and they're out playing, and their playoff hopes are all but over for this year. So we'll be seeing Dame not playing for the rest of the year pretty soon. So what do you think this is like pointing to? Are they going to be moving him in the offseason? Because I don't see the point of shutting him down at this point in the year if you're not going to think about moving off of him next year. Like, do you think Dame needs to request a trade? Like, what are your general thoughts on this report?
I'll go first because I feel like I have the least to say about this, but I feel like it makes no sense. I don't know, unless Dame wanted this, I don't know why they'd shut him down without, him saying, yeah, shut me down. Because I think this whole Dame Portland thing has been led by Dame. You know what I mean? If he wants to stay, he's staying. Like, I don't think Portland's really in the driving seat of this relationship.
He said today that he felt defeated. He didn't say that, but that's what he is like exuberated. That he just felt defeated. That the season was done for. He just basically gave up on the season in my eyes.
So I guess it goes into what we were talking about earlier. If they're trying to trade him, I feel like the whole thing about him is that his trade package, what they've wanted has just been, you know what I mean? Like not in the Dame's a great player, but like what they want is just way too much. So I get it. In the summer, you have time to trade and try and figure out what you're gonna do. But like, what team? I know you said Milwaukee. What does a package from a team like Milwaukee look like? Chris Middleton, Chris Middleton and someone else, and what 2-3 picks?
Yeah.
Like, so I want that was leading to my next question.
Like, what other teams can go get it?
Like let's lead into my next question. What is your perfect landing spot for Dame if he requested a trade?
Like in a perfect world, I'd say LA, but I think in order to go to LA, you'd have to trade AD, and I think who's their big like. How are you going to trade for Damian without trading AD? Who are they giving up?
Lakers don't have any. Again, if the Lakers are going to get Dame, they should have did it when they were trying to get Russ. And I remember reading articles. I think Chris Haynes did an article about like LeBron and AD, met with Dame to see if he wanted to become a Laker before they traded for Russ that offseason. And they were gonna put all the pieces in to trade some draft capital for Dame, trade 3 firsts and Basically the same package that they traded away for. Obviously it'll be meatier. Pause. It'll be meatier for it'll be meatier for Dame than it was for Russ, but like some similar or the same package just with more picks. And so I think that pipe dream is gone. I mean, I guess you could put a package together with D'Lo and like.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I get it done. Like I think the only way you get him is because AD, and I don't think that Lakers are going to do that.
Yeah. And Portland, I don't know. Portland, in general wouldn't accept that. But so I'll answer the question about his trade, his destination, the destination for him. But I think that in general, Dame really has to figure out what it is that he wants. Like I saw in an interview with JJ Redick, he was saying that he felt like he didn't want to be traded to a super team, quote unquote, because what if he goes there and he doesn't win and it messes up everything and he's happy. But in that same breath, as Latif just said in his interview today, like he was talking about how he was defeated, and I think I seen something where he was just saying like he wants to compete and he does not want to be in the same position every year. Well, I don't know if he, I don't know what he expects. Like he has to choose. He has to choose. Does he want to win, or does he want to just be in the same city or play for the Trailblazers for the rest of his career? Because you're staying with them. That's not gonna, it's not looking like that's ever gonna. You're never gonna be in a winning situation in Portland. So, in their best shot of winning was when they had CJ McCollum there, and when they had, that was what there almost 5 years ago. So, I think that
I got two more teams that I'm kind of interested in, along with the Bucks. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of New Orleans or Miami?
New Orleans is a good option, and
I think New Orleans could be great, but do you have to give up BI? Do you have to give up CJ? Do you have to give up just Herb Jones, Trey Murphy? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, a guard, like Kira Lewis or something.
Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels.
There you go.
Dyson Daniels. I think that team's interesting. They need a point guard. I think if he goes back to play with CJ, it could be fun. I love Miami.
BI and Zion.
That's what I'm saying. I think that team could be scary. I think Miami as well. If you form a package around Tyler Hero and picks, I know there's I think Dame, Bam, Jimmy Butler. You get rid of Kyle Lowry. You try and play something else. You can't lie and tell me that team doesn't look better than majority teams in the East.
It does. I don't know if
I don't know about Miami. I think
Miami in a down year.
I think the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans are a good option for Dame. If he wants to leave Portland, that's a very good option. Combining him with Zion and Brandon Ingram, if they were to stay healthy, be very good. I don't know what they would do with CJ though. I don't know what they would do with CJ.
Miami's more realistic. I think Miami's more realistic.
How come? No, it's not. As
far as having the pieces, New Orleans
is more realistic than Miami.
New Orleans is more realistic than Miami.
I'm just saying, Miami has made big splashes in the past. They're not afraid to spend money, and they have the better pieces to trade.
No, they don't.
They could have got Donovan Mitchell this year, and they didn't want to give up.
How do they have the better pieces? New Orleans have more job capital. They have better younger players than them, and they have more cap space. Probably, I'm going to assume. Like,
I don't know.
How do they?
I think a trade package around Tyler Hero plus picks.
What the bro? That's not better than Dyson Daniels, Trey Murphy, and
I mean, we also got to make salaries match too. Dame is one.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially after this year, Dame is about to be on a $50 million contract. So
you can't have Dame, BI, Zion, and CJ on a team. That's too much money.
Actually, can't. Now that I think about it,
that's too much money.
CJ had to go. CJ had to go, but you can have those three for sure. You can have those three. Yes, you can.
I get it, but
they would eat up a lot of the cap. They would eat up a lot of the cap. You'd be getting a lot of depth that you just had.
Part of why New Orleans is great though is because they have depth and they have shooting off the bench and defense off the bench.
They actually suck.
But I forgot. Part of what makes them good. I forgot you get touchy with words. I think that if Miami, with what Miami has, they don't got much right now this season. If you could make the money work out with trading Kyle Lowry, with trading Tyler Hero, with giving picks, they will go over the salary cap to put Dame on their team.
I'm not gonna lie, Dame, Bam, and Jimmy Butler does not move me. I'm sorry, it's not winning a championship.
But you can't
that's
say
not winning a championship. Respectfully, that's not. No, it's not.
What, Jordan?
No, it is not.
Dame, Bam, and Jimmy Butler doesn't move you.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it doesn't
that's
move me
easily
because
easily top three
Bam
in the
and Jimmy
East.
Butler is better than, in my opinion, it might be enough to get them over the top of the Celtics, in my opinion.
Thank you. It depends on the bench. It depends on their bench.
you think
Depends
Dan
on
could be
what
the best
piece
player in the
around them.
championship winning team?
Yes, I do. Actually,
No,
I
he
do.
can. No, he cannot.
I
No, he
do.
cannot.
Depending on the pieces around him.
I
Yes,
was
I
gonna
do.
say
No, he
Jimmy
cannot.
Butler's a strong
If you're
two.
playing
Bam's a
with-
strong
yeah.
three.
You're
Jimmy's a
putting him
strong
with
two.
Jimmy. Do you think Jimmy Butler could be the best player on the championship team?
No,
But he led the Heat to the finals, and he led them
and
to
they
the
did not win. And they did not win.
And he
They
did
did
that.
not
And he
win.
did that without a elite number 2 next to him. If him and Jimmy Butler if Dame and Jimmy Butler team up, that's 1A 1B.
They're gonna have to gut out. They're gonna have to gut a lot of the whatever depth they don't even have depth anyways. But they will have to gut their team to get Dame. And
But that's what I'm saying.
that's
There's no
assuming
team
that the
to gut.
Portland Trailblazers don't ask for Bam. Like, come on, bro. Like that's just assuming that. Like assuming that the Portland Trailblazers wouldn't ask for Bam is kind of crazy. Let's be honest.
Okay, well you can say no. You can say no to a trade. You don't have to say, oh, okay, I guess that's you Bam. They just say no. Like trade doesn't happen.
They literally probably, for Dame, they probably ask for Bam and Tyler Hero. If we be honest.
So then, okay, how does that make sense then? That magically New Orleans will say, we'll give you Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and Dyson Daniels.
Because Tyler Hero is not
even that.
Tyler Hero is not. Tyler Hero is like they have more draft capital than them. They can give them like four or five first round picks and those 3 players. Like that's better than Bam and Tyler Hero and like they don't have any picks. Like Miami does not have picks. So I mean I like the Pelicans better. The Pelicans trade better in my eyes. Unless they give up Bam and Tyler Hero. So
what are we talking about? Miami has picks.
What picks do they have?
They have picks in. They have picks 2024. They have picks in 2025 and 2026.
That's you can't trade, 2 years in a row. So
24, 26.
That's not enough. Well, I mean, 24 and 26 would be enough. You trade Bam.
I'm saying,
wait, 24 and 26,
24, 26, 28, and Tyler Hero.
That's not moving.
You're telling me it's not a conversation,
Jordan? What? Like, come on, bro. 3 first round picks and Tyler Hero are you trading that for Dame?
That's not a conversation.
No,
it's a conversation you could have.
No,
yes.
you can get a better package from the Pelicans.
It's literally.
I'm looking. The money still works with the Pelicans. So especially with cap space going up, they just wouldn't have, because they have Valanciunas, they have Larry Nance, and they have Josh Richardson, 3 players that are all on 20 million. No, I think one of them. I'm looking at it right now. My bad. Valanciunas is on 15 million. Larry Nance is on 10 million. And I feel like you can make, if I'm not mistaken, somebody else here is on 20 million too. Oh, Josh Richardson is on 20 million. So those are 3 contracts that can absorb Dame, on top of you add in Trey Murphy and Dyson Daniels to the mix. And you throw in picks, like Portland is accepting that in a heartbeat.
Hey, they got, according to whatever this website is, they got the 2023, 2024, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029.
They will have to give all that, bro.
Miami.
Yeah,
they will have to give
forge their future. And is the Portland Trailblazers willing to wait, 5 years for a Dame trade to pay off?
That's one. And 2, I don't think Miami.
Yes.
I don't think Miami thinks like we get Dame and Dame, Jimmy Butler and Bam may not win the championship, and that's not a crazy take. I don't think they may not beat the Celtics. They may not beat the Bucks. They're better than the Sixers though for sure. We don't know what the Cavs are gonna do.
So you're a top 3 team in the East. You could be top 2.
I don't know about them beating them.
You just said they're a top 3 team in the East. Could be top 2.
I don't know about them beating. They can beat the Celtics for sure.
I think the Pelicans deal is just much better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, who knows? The Pelicans are going to want to mortgage all their depth and what's brought them to, I guess, to where they are. So I think at the end of the day, I think Miami's more likely to make a big splash because they've done it before. Their window is short right now with Jimmy Butler getting older. I think that Miami is more. I'm not going to say that New Orleans doesn't need to win now because their players, obviously CJ is getting older, but their players just kind of getting older and they're dealing with injuries. I think Miami's window is so short. If they don't make this, then they missed out on it completely.
All right. That's gonna wrap up the episode. This was episode 19. I think everybody's getting pretty tired. I know it's 12:34 over there for y'all. So thanks for staying up with me, Jordan and Max. Staying up to me get this episode done. I really appreciate that. I had work today, so we had to do an episode pretty late. I think it was a good episode. We covered a lot in college basketball. That was good because we get to talk about that, and we got some NBA content as well. So always thanks Jordan for coming on. Thank you,
No
Max.
problem. Anytime. I'll tell y'all anytime.
Thank you, Max, for being Mr. Consistent along with me. And yeah, so that's gonna wrap up the episode. See y'all later, man.